There's probably going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of mania this week over the fact that Bitcoin hit its all time high of $61,000. But I've already been saying that it's only because Biden sent out these welfare checks and that you've got people who shouldn't be getting these things who are gambling them in cryptocurrency because they're trying to get rich quick. What they should have done from the very beginning is that if they were handing out welfare, what they should have done was given out debit cards like EBT cards. They call them Eat Better Tomorrow cards, or and made it so that the only thing you'd be able to spend that on was food, water, and some basic supplies, possibly children's clothes from Walmart, and that's about it. But ultimately, we all see what's happening here. Bitcoin set below $50,000 for like the last couple of weeks, right up until these welfare checks started going out. And then all of a sudden, all this money starts getting spent. And these people start getting this money and they start doing stuff with it and they start going into Dogecoin. Dogecoin is up to, I believe it's 0.67 if I'm not mistaken. But keep in mind that's down from the fact that it was 8 cents. It's down. It's up to about 0.067, but the high was like 0.083 or something like that. And it's just so ridiculously obvious that what's fueling this is the welfare checks that one that went out under Trump, and then the next one that goes out under Biden, and then there'll be another one that goes out under Biden. And I'll also say this, just to be fair, the stock market itself is also being inflated because you've got people getting their welfare checks and putting it into the stock market. Frankly, I wouldn't allow that either. In fact, I wouldn't be letting them have welfare checks at all. And I don't want to hear anybody say, yeah, well, how are we supposed to pay the rent? You're supposed to get off your goddamn ass. You're supposed to get a job and you're supposed to work to pay your rent. And then furthermore, most of you ain't paying rent at all because you're living in your parents' basement. So as far as I'm concerned, when you're getting your stimulus welfare check, that check should be handed directly upstairs to your mom because you're in her basement. You should be handing that welfare check to your mother so your mother can go out and buy the groceries and the toilet paper. You shouldn't be sitting in her basement like her basement is some kind of command center or something. But you're not giving her anything. In fact, what she should do is kick y'all out because I'm sick and tired of seeing these 40-year-olds still living with their parents. Let me tell you a quick little story. When a bald eagle has eaglets, right? They have a nice soft nest because the parent eagles, they make a nice soft nest. They get the feathers that they can find. They get the soft twigs. They get the rotted tree branches that are so soft and everything. And they use that for the baby eaglets, right? And when that eaglet starts getting older, the parent eagle's like, nah, you ain't staying here. So what they do is they start taking away the soft stuff, and then those hard branches start poking those little bastards right in their back, so they can't even sleep comfortably. And eventually the eaglets, they get the idea. They're like, oh, damn, my parents want me to get the hell out of here. So eventually they fly off and they go be a part of nature. So that bald eagle that you salute to, soldiers and all that, the one that you salute to, keep in mind that that bald eagle got kicked out by his parents and would never have been allowed to stay in mommy's basement or daddy's attic until they were 40 years old. You know who I'm talking to. So, anyway, Bitcoin hits all-time high. Here's why Warren Buffett still won't touch it. So here's the thing. You guys are busy following a bunch of YouTube gurus who are lying to you and telling you about all the money they've made off of Bitcoin, because chances are they're channeling other people who got into Bitcoin and other crypto really, really early. And they need you in order to boost up the price of Bitcoin by putting your welfare check in it so that they can someday be able to cash out. That's the reason why this is called a Ponzi scheme. I recognize it for what it is. Most of you won't say it. Some people are, hey, yeah, well, the U.S. dollar is a Ponzi scheme. Well, guess what? The U.S. dollar's got nuclear bombs, fighters, rockets, missiles, gigantic aircraft carriers, and it's got an entire military industrial complex behind it. What's Bitcoin got behind it? Nothing, except a bunch of children with welfare checks and a bunch of NVIDIA GPUs that they scalped in order to make these stupid crypto miners, which I hope that Congress makes illegal simply because they're creating greenhouse gases that shouldn't be there in the atmosphere. So anyway, The past year has been groundbreaking for Bitcoin. And just recently, the cryptocurrency hit an all-time high over $61,000 for one unit. They don't even want to call shit a Bitcoin. Late to the party, investors bemoaned having missed out. So what does the world's most famous investor think of Bitcoin? Yeah, you know the guy who has Berkshire Hathaway, where their stock is worth $300,000 per share, more than that? Yeah, that guy. So anyway, it's probably rat poison squared, Warren Buffett once said. If you listen to the billionaire, cryptocurrency may not be the big financial opportunity you've been dreaming of, nor is it the only way to get impressive returns if you have some cash you're looking to put into the market. That's what commission-free investing apps are for. I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't own any cryptocurrency. I never will, he told CNBC in 2020. Here are 3 reasons Buffett won't go near it. Now, keep in mind, this man continues to put his money into dividend-paying stocks, and that's how he got rich, number 1, and that's how he stays rich, number 2. What he didn't do was put $1.5 billion into Bitcoin and then watch Tesla drop from $880 a share down to $590-something a share, which it's recovered up to $694, but it's still down from $880. So anyway, the billionaire investor doesn't like Bitcoin because he considers it an unproductive asset. Buffett has a well-known preference for stocks of corporations whose value and cash flow come from producing things. But cryptocurrencies don't have real value, Buffett said. They don't reproduce. They can't mail you a check, so he's basically talking about dividends. They can't do anything. And what you hope is that somebody else comes along and pays you more money for them later on. But then that person's got the problem. Though Bitcoin is intended to provide real value as a payment system, that use is still pretty limited. As Buffett sees it, Bitcoin's value comes from the optimism that someone else is willing to pay more for it in the future than you're paying today. He doesn't think crypto counts as money. As a tradable asset, Bitcoin boomed. But does it meet the 3 criteria of money? Well, first of all, none of you know what money means, and none of you know what currency means. According to the most common definition, money is supposed to be a means of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. But Buffett calls it a mirage. It does not meet the test of a currency. The billionaire said on CNBC, it is not a durable means of exchange. It's not a store of value. He adds that it is a very effective way of anonymously, and this is the key right here. It's a very effective way of anonymously transmitting money if you're a drug dealer or if you're a money launderer, which means that eventually the SEC is coming after you. But a check is a way of transmitting money too, he said. Are checks worth a whole lot of money just because they can transmit money? Well, checks are worthless. When I take a check out of my checkbook, it doesn't even have a value at all until I write something on it and sign something. And then digitally, that check is screened and written by the bank. And then the bank transfers money from my account to somebody else's account. A check is not money. Buffett's absolutely right here. A check is not money. It's just a means of it's like a credit card. A credit card is not money either. My credit cards are both worth $10,000, or at least they say that you can spend up to $10,000, but the card itself is worthless. All you're doing is moving debt from one place to another. So anyway, he doesn't understand it. Buffett became one of the most successful investors in history by sticking with stocks he understands. So basically, you're picking blue chip stocks, which are stocks and companies that have a good record or a good growth possibility, and that also pay dividends, and you stick with them. If you had bought Apple back in, what was it? When I told people to buy Apple in the stock split that happened back in like 2015, if you had bought Apple, you would have had but because they've done 2 stock splits, you would have had a number of splits that doubled, tripled, quadrupled. You might have made 10 times the amount of money that you put in by buying Apple. I was telling people in 2012 to buy Tesla. I didn't believe in Tesla until I drove their first car, and that was the P85. And that was a rear-wheel drive Tesla. I have the video. Wait, where is it? I have the video right here. I'll show it to you later. But I got the video when I drove that car, and I was like, wow, I want to invest in this, because I knew that electric cars were going to be the future, one way or another. whether it was government mandates or whether people just decided, you know what, I don't feel like paying $4 a gallon for premium fuel. I invested my money in Tesla, and I made a lot of money in Tesla. I made so much money in Tesla that I was able to buy a house. Number one, a second house. And number two, I was able to chop off pieces of that money and make stock portfolios where I could fully fund them and then have to worry. Like, I'm looking at what? I'm up to $21,222. I made a video yesterday about this account. I put $5,000 into it, and I have more than quadrupled that money. How can you even quadruple Bitcoin? If it's $60,000 right now, in order for you to quadruple your money, 60 times 4, you would have to see Bitcoin's price increase from 60 to 120 to 240. That's not going to happen. You're not quadrupling your money off that, whatever. So anyway, I get in enough trouble with things I think I know something about. Why in the world should I take a long or short position in something I don't know anything about? But people like to gamble, and there's the key word. Because keep in mind, during coronavirus quarantines, casinos will close. Where do you think all this money is coming from? They're talking about the stock market being inflated. Yeah, it is. And the reason why is because these people are sitting on their backs and they got nothing to do at home except pray for the end of their life. Pray to God that they don't die from coronavirus. So they're gambling. And then you got these welfare checks just compounding the problem. If you don't understand it, you get much more excited than if you understand it. And he's right. He's absolutely right. You can have anything you want to imagine if you just look at something and say, that's magic. How does Buffett pick winning stocks? Well, the billionaire investor follows the value investing strategy, which focuses on buying undervalued stocks of strong companies, buy low, sell high, and holding them for a long time. Simple, right? Yeah, it really is. Berkshire Hathaway looks for companies with a good profit margin and those that produce unique products that can't be easily substituted. That sounds brilliant. As Warren Buffett once said in a letter to his shareholders, it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. But Buffett's distaste for crypto stocks doesn't mean you shouldn't buy Bitcoin. Even the billionaires come around on sectors he previously spoke out against. He notoriously avoided tech stocks even at the height of the dot-com bubble, and now his company's largest holding is Apple. And that's why I've decided that I planned on, basically it's like this, I'll say every 2 months, I buy more Apple in my main portfolio. In this portfolio that I do share on YouTube, right now you've seen me, I bought 10 shares. So that was 1,000, because Apple's still, right now, it's a little low. But the thing about it is it doesn't even matter how many shares I buy, because when they have the next stock split, all that's going to mean is that 10 will turn into 40 or something else, like 10, 40, 50, whatever. Because they've had 2 stock splits since, I bought in the first time. I made a video when I bought in the first time. And I was getting friends to buy in at the same time I was getting them to buy Alibaba. And that was like back when Apple was it was like $86 a share. And then it kept going up. And then they did the split twice. They did that split in 2015, I think, and then they did it this last year. So rich people, basically, they're putting their money towards Apple because they already know Apple's the shit. They wouldn't put their money into Samsung. Now, granted, Samsung makes some great washing machines and dryers and refrigerators, but when it comes to cell phones, they're kind of ho-hum. But anyway, Bitcoin has made a lot of people rich along the way, but that doesn't mean you've missed the boat on investing. Just listen to Warren Buffett's words of wisdom. Me personally, I'm waiting to see all of these Bitcoin rich people. I'm waiting to see them pay their taxes, or I'm waiting to see the IRS go after them. Because you can bet that the IRS, because they already said it, they've already had a couple of news stories I think I've shared. The IRS is coming for you. Because y'all think, this is what y'all think. Y'all think that, oh yeah, well, I'm going to put like a couple hundred stimulus check dollars into Bitcoin. I'm going to get rich, right? Well, the IRS is expected to collect about 30% of whatever you make. And what most of these people do is they keep some money in cryptocurrency and then they go to foreign countries, i.e. Puerto Rico or Thailand, and they go to countries that are Bitcoin friendly and then they start spending their money. And this way the IRS has no idea what they're doing. But guess what? Now that the IRS, and I'm so glad they're doing this, now that the IRS is demanding records from Coinbase and records from Robinhood and regulating all this bullshit, yeah, well, you're going to be getting a knock on your door from the IRS. And when you get that knock on your door, let's see how many millions of dollars you've made when they collect their 30% out of you. So you got $2 million? That's great. They're going to be like Debo on Friday. They're going to be like, hey, yeah, I just made $1 million on Bitcoin. And Debo's going to be like, no, I just made $1 million on crypto. And you'd be like, yeah, come on, Red, cash him out. And Debo's going to knock you the fuck out. And when I say Debo, I'm talking about the IRS. And ain't nothing you can do about it. And Uncle Sam's coming for that money. I guarantee, I can't, every single time I see a story pop up about the IRS harassing somebody and pulling that money out their booty or threatening to send them to the booty house. Oh yeah, I'm gonna post those articles one by one. And all of you Dogecoin, you think you're gonna get rich on Dogecoin? IRS is coming right to your door. Excuse me. Where's our money? Yeah, I can't wait to see that, man. I can't wait. Man, when those stories come out, I can't wait. So anyway, and by the way, I paid my taxes. You know what? Because half of y'all getting these welfare checks, you're getting it because of people like me. I pay my tax. I pay so much tax, I don't even get any of these welfare checks. I don't get nothing. I didn't get nothing from Trump. I got nothing from Biden. I haven't taken a dime in welfare. So, you know what? Oh, yeah, I have reasons to be upset. I have reasons to be upset, believe you me. So, anyway, found a company you believe in, even if you're not swimming in cash. One popular investing app allows you to buy pieces of companies for as little as $1. Well, I use TD Ameritrade. You can invest in fractional shares. I already did that. You can invest in fractional shares, stocks, options, exchange traded funds, ETFs, and yes, even cryptocurrencies. There are no fees and no commissions. And when you sign, you'll get a free share of stock added to your account to help you get started, or you might buy into companies with just your spare change. Using a different app that rounds up your debit and credit card purchases to the nearest dollar. And I think this is called Acorn. Apparently they don't put the names right there, but I believe that's called Acorn, and this might be Robinhood right here. If you're interested but intimidated, that's normal. Don't be afraid to get some expert advice before you hit the stock market. Yeah, okay. Expert advice? No, I'm going to buy Dogecoin. We're going to the moon. We're going to Mars. We're going to Uranus. Yeah, right. Have you gotten there yet? How's them Dodgers doing? Let's see. MoneyWise is one of them. If you've got some extra cash, here's how to invest it. And I'm pretty sure the other one was Acorn. That's what they're talking about. Easy, no fee of. See, I don't trust these things, and the reason why is because just like Robinhood, their execution sucks, and I think a lot of people lost favor and they lost a lot of respect for Robinhood when Robinhood did the smart thing and they paused that GameStop trading bullshit because these idiots were trying to collapse like the financial system based on a video game retailer that was basically going out of business. So yeah, that's not a good thing. But basically.